in Ephesians 4:11, he says, he gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. And so if you think about what these words are actually saying, it's rather mind-blowing to see that Jesus, not only at his expected end, is that we come into a perfect man, or a mature man. That's the word teleos in the Greek, the word perfect there. Unto the measure of the stature of his fullness, right? It's very hard to find people who are teaching this, and even fewer walk in it. But this is the thing that's going to, this is what the Bible refers to when it says that he's returning for a pure, spotless bride without stain or wrinkle. And this is the perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So we've got a lot of ground to cover. We've got a lot of maturing to do. We've got a lot of things that we need to get going in our lives, and it involves putting on the new man. So this phrase, though, out of Ephesians 4, I want to touch on that and kind of use that as a springboard here, and of the knowledge of the Son of God. And this is so critical because, and I mentioned this in the intro, I'm going to say it again. Jesus in Matthew said that if the light that is in you is dark, how great is that darkness? Did you know that there can be dark light? Of course, light, many times, in this case especially, is Jesus using the word light to refer to understanding or revelation, or you could even say wisdom, things that are unveiled to you. And this is why so many have a hard time understanding the New Testament, because it's got to be unveiled within you. It's not something that the natural man, the carnal man, or the carnal mind can understand. It cannot understand the things of the Spirit. The Bible, although it is the words that are spoken are logical and they make sense, the understanding must be enfolded by the Spirit. And so when it says, and the knowledge of the Son of God, we are talking about a disclosed knowledge of God, right? How can you gain knowledge of God? We're not just talking about knowing God facts, right? When people know things about you, like, where were you born, what year, when's your birthday, what's your favorite color, those are facts about you, but that doesn't mean they know you. We're talking about knowledge of God. We're talking about insight, depth of understanding. And Paul, again, talks about this in 1 Corinthians, where he says that the Spirit searches the deep things of God, even the heart of God. And it says that we have that Spirit and we have the mind of Christ. What's Paul saying here? What he's explaining to us? He's telling us that by reason of who we've been made and how he has made us, we have access to the knowledge of God through the Spirit of God, which is called the mind of Christ. But if you don't, just because you have Bible facts, just because you can quote scriptures, just because you can say a few things that sound spiritual, doesn't mean that you have knowledge of God. Doesn't mean that you have understanding. Doesn't mean that you have revelation. So let's talk about some verses here concerning putting on the new man, concerning the knowledge of God, getting the light that is in you to be light that comes from truth. See, if you have dark light in you, it simply means that the understanding that you're operating out of did not proceed from God, right? That's what people struggle with continually in the church. They struggle with earthly wisdom that proceeds from men's minds. This is not God knowledge. This is not knowledge of God. This is not understanding given by the Spirit of God. And so that's what we call sacred cows and things like this. And Paul talks about this a lot.